Hello everyone, welcome to Court with Krissy. I saw this guy when he appeared with his attorney last week. The attorney's name, Mr. Dick. The client, Cage Hooker. Winning combination. But today he's not winning. He's going to see some mental health experts. Also, he ain't got no job, he ain't got no money. With a name like Cage Hooker, how can you be broke? I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
We're going to read you the charges. We're going to tell you what your rights are, and then we're going to address bond. Can you hear me, Mr. Hooker?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The complaint against you reads as follows. It says in honor about May the 4th of 2025 in Bagley Township of Otsego County that you did commit 4 offenses. Count 1 is called police officer assault, resist, or obstruct. And it says that you did assault, batter, wound, resist, obstruct, oppose, or endanger Brandon Walker, a sheriff or deputy sheriff of the county of Otsego, that you knew or had reason to know was performing his or her duties contrary to compiled laws. That is a felony offense. It has a maximum penalty of 2 years and or a $2,000 fine. Do you understand the charge in count 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the maximum penalty in count 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Count 2 says that you did interfere with electronic communications and that you willfully and maliciously did prevent, obstruct, or delay by any means the sending, conveyance, or delivery of an authorized communication by or through a telephone or telephone line contrary to Michigan compiled laws. That's also a felony offense, has a maximum penalty of 2 years and or a $1,000 fine. Do you understand the name of count 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the maximum penalty in count 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Count 3 is called domestic violence. It says that you did, on that same date, time, and place, that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Kevin Lee Hooker, a resident or former resident of your household, contrary to Michigan compiled laws. That's a misdemeanor, has a maximum penalty of 93 days and or a $500 fine. Do you understand the name of the charge in count 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand the maximum penalty in count 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and in count 4, it's a similar charge. It has a name of domestic violence. It says that on that same date, time, and place that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon Sandra Lee Hooker, a resident or former resident of your household. Again, that's a misdemeanor offense with a 93-day and or $500 fine. You understand the name of the charge in count 4?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you also understand the maximum penalty in count 4?
Yes.
All right. As to each of those 4 charges, you have the following rights. You have the right to plead guilty, not guilty, or to stand mute. And if you stand mute, I will enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. You also have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury, and to have the assistance of an attorney at all critical stages of the proceedings. And Mr. Brown is here as a defense attorney to assist us with that process. As a person charged with a crime, you also have the right to the following trial rights: to see, hear, and question the witnesses against you, to call witnesses on your behalf, and to get an order from the court called a subpoena to require the witnesses to appear and testify for you. You have the right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent. And if you chose to remain silent, that silence could not be used against you. You also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, and to have that burden of proof be on the prosecutor at all times. At a trial, you'd also have the right to appeal automatically. However, if you enter a plea at any time in the future, you could only ask the court for permission to appeal. You understand all those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about any of them?
No, Your Honor.
All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to ask Mr. Brown to assist us with whether or not you qualify for court-appointed counsel. Mr. Brown?
Your Honor, he does qualify. If the court will remember, he was being arraigned back on April 29th, so just last week. He did qualify at that time. He will qualify again. That information has been sent to Mr. Gilo's office. My guess is Mr. Dick will be his attorney, as he represents him on the other cases as well.
All right, Mr. Hooker, are you asking for a court-appointed counsel in this case?
Yes, please.
Was that a yes?
I would like James Dick.
All right. Well, at this moment, I can't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get
I
Mr.
know
Dick.
you
I think
cannot guarantee me James Dick. I'm sorry for speaking. I hear you. I hear you.
All right, thank you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to approve your request for court appointed counsel. That will go to Mr. Gilo, who makes the actual assignment of each attorney that's appointed. It's highly likely that he will do Mr. Dick for you, but that's up to him. Because you're charged with a felony and you haven't had a chance to speak with your lawyer yet, I'm going to enter a standing mute or not guilty plea on your behalf in order to preserve your rights. I'm also going to set some court hearings in quick order to also preserve your rights. You have the right to have a probable cause conference. That's a short hearing between your lawyer and the prosecutor to try to see if they can resolve the case. That will happen within the next 7 days. And you also have the right to have a preliminary examination within the next 21 days. And that's a short hearing in district court in front of me to determine if there's probable cause that you committed the crimes that you're charged with. And we'll set that for a date as quickly as possible within that time frame as well. What we're going to do now is we're going to address bond. So I'm going to ask each of the lawyers to tell me what they think bond should be. And then I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me what you think bond should be as well. So Ms. Bruker, go ahead.
Your Honor, we're asking for a very high bond in this case for a few reasons. First, as the court is aware, defendant is currently out on bond for an assault by strangulation and domestic violence charge with an unrelated victim. Last week, he was arraigned on a bond violation for that case and was released on a PR bond, and that violation is still pending. During the course of this investigation, one of the victims indicated to law enforcement that she was afraid that the defendant was going to seriously injure or kill her. He was also showing some signs that he was experiencing some type of mental health difficulties. The officer noticed that right away. And one of the other victims also reported another assault that had happened a week or so ago involving the same defendant. So I would ask that the court order the standard terms and conditions of bond, including that if he is released, that he report to community corrections. I'd ask that the court consider that he having him be evaluated by community mental health prior to his release as well. And I'm asking for $100,000, 10% bond.
Right. I know, I gotta contain myself.
Okay,
but it's
Mr. Mr. Hooker.
Mr. Hooker, I'm going to give you a chance to say things about this case, but you got to give everybody else a chance to talk without interfering with that. So you're going to have your chance, sir. Now is Mr. Brown's opportunity, and then we'll come back to you, sir. All right, go ahead, Mr. Brown.
I thank you, Your Honor. As Ms. Bruker did mention, he was arraigned just last week. He is currently trying to get some employment here. I believe he has missed a couple of interviews because of his incarcerations. I would not disagree with Ms. Bruker as far as maybe a CMH evaluation. I believe there may be some mental health issues going on here. I would ask the court if the alleged victim is perhaps his grandmother. I really don't know who it is because he does live with his grandmother, and that may be, I see Ms. Bruker nodding her head. So, and again, I did not know that, but he would not be allowed to return to that home. And so I don't know if he has a place to go at this particular time. I'd ask the court to consider if he can provide any proof or anything that maybe he can get into some kind of a mental health treatment center that the court would perhaps entertain some kind of a motion. And I don't know when Mr. Dick will be appointed. It's my guess. I will be contacting Mr. Dick to inform him of this after this hearing as well. But I would just $100,000. I understand that is a very large amount. I would consider the court perhaps imposing a lesser amount, but I will leave that up to the court's discretion.
Judge, and I forgot to say this, and it's on my bond sheet, though I am asking that the court impose protective conditions, including that he not have contact with either victim and he not return to that property. They do not want him to come back to that residence.
I charge you to go.
You understand.
My property.
All right, Mr.
I have
Hooker.
property.
Mr. Hooker, I need you to wait just a second. I want a couple things I'm going to tell you before you have a chance to tell me what it is that you want me to know. First is I am going to listen to what you have to say. Second is I don't want you to make statements about the case that's being charged against you, because this is all being recorded and it might be used against you later in violation of your or against your rights. that having said that, you can tell me about other things other than the case itself. You can tell me about where you live or where you're going to live, what your mental state is, whether you're employed or not, where you're going to go and what you're going to do if you get out of jail, all of those kinds of things. Do you understand, sir?
Yes,
All right,
Your
this
Honor.
is your opportunity. If you want to talk to me about bond, please go ahead.
All right. I believe a PR bond is well worth, not, is the way I would like to go. I don't have any financial money put aside. I don't have a lot of money on hand and I don't have a job. I was applying, I got hired at debris cleanup documentation out at Walmart. And then I had an interview on the following Tuesday. So it was Monday and I got picked up and arrested. I missed my job training. I also missed my job interview. And that really messed me up. And I haven't been sleeping. So I would really like to get a job and do something with my day. And I've been trying to get a job. I was like the other night, I was going to post on Facebook at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock at night. Would anyone like any yard work done? Then I thought about it. That's a little weird to post at like 9 o'clock at night. Maybe I'll wait till noon the next day and think about it. But I really would just like to have a job and go back to my own property, which is where my grandpa lived. And it's just a barn in the woods that I just got to build. But I don't want to build it by myself. I don't want to either. And it's messy, it's dirty, but I got to do it. And it's going to take time, effort, and a whole lot of money and a little bit of love. And I'm glad I got time, effort, and at least a little bit of love in my heart. But yeah, I don't think there needs to be any bond number because I don't have any money. I just want to make money so I can give my back to my owner.
All right.
My dad wants to wave money in my face and I ain't got no money to give him. I ain't got no money. I ain't got no job. I can do work. I need to be able to do the work.
Mr. Hooker, I see that you're very upset and you're crying a little bit there. I understand you're going through some. All right. Then are you having problems controlling your emotions lately?
No, I'm not having problems controlling my emotions. I'm just having emotional outbursts and I am apologizing for that, but I'm able to communicate and have solid conversations.
Can you tell me why you go 1 minute very, very emotional and the next minute you're almost analytical and stone-faced?
Do you want to see why I describe that? So in the moment, I'm going to get emotional and the emotions rile me. And then my head's like, hey man, settle down. You don't need to be all emotional. And so instead of being emotional, it goes to that stone face. And then you're like, stone face, that's too much emotion. No emotion. We need some emotion. I'm not the best guy in the world. I don't know everything. I don't know how to communicate properly sometimes. So like if the tone of stuff I'm using is too high, you gotta calm yourself down. And so when I tell someone I'm trying to calm down, I really am.
I believe you. I'm just wondering if that's I wonder if that's happening more often and getting more difficult for you over the last few weeks.
No, it hasn't been getting more. It hasn't happened more often, but the fact of the matter is things have been difficult in this last month.
I can understand that. I do.
I know.
All right. Is there anything else that you want to talk to me about bond about?
That I believe it should be personal reconnaissance. I can go to my own property and I won't be in contact with anyone who I don't need to be in contact. But I'd like to talk to my grandma and dad.
All right. As to bond, I do believe that Mr. Hooker has been in front of me a number of times in the last couple of weeks. I do recall the recent assault strangulation bond hearing and arraignment. I do know that there's been a probation violation alleged in that file, and he's recently committed or is alleged to have committed in this file with the domestic violence on 2 different family members again. And that would constitute a second or third violation of probation. Under those circumstances, I don't believe that a personal recognizance bond would be appropriate. This is, however, the felonies charged in this case are not as severe as the assault strangulation case last time, so I don't know that a $100,000 bond, even at 10%, would be appropriate.
I'm trying, as I tell you, I'm a man, I'm trying.
I appreciate that, Mr. Hooker.
Fuck yeah, I know you do, Your Honor. Holy fuck, goddamn, give me a fucking moment.
Mr. Hooker, you need to calm down and watch your language, please.
Thank you, Deputy. Yeah,
Thank
Mr. Hooker,
you.
this is
I'm
on.
trying.
All right, the time for you talking is done at this point. This is my time, all right? We all take turns when we're on Zoom. So your chance is done, so just listen to me, please, and then we'll get through this as quickly as we can. So I'm going to do the following. We're going to institute a bond of $20,000, cash surety or 10%.
Yeah, okay, I just want to fucking sit here.
He's going to personally appear for every scheduled court date. He's going to have to abide by the judgments in this case. Cannot leave the state of Michigan without prior permission of the court, not to commit any other crime while he is released, and immediately notify the court in writing of any change of address or telephone number. He's not to use alcohol or illegal controlled substances if he's released. He must participate in a substance abuse testing or monitoring program through the Community Corrections Department. He is not to harass, intimidate, beat, molest, wound, stalk, threaten, or engage in any other conduct that would place any of the following persons or children in reasonable fear of bodily injury. That would include any resident or former resident of his household, and specifically Sandra Hooker and or Kevin Hooker.
I'm fucking father.
He is not to assault, harass, intimidate, beat, molest, wound, or threaten Sandra Hooker or Kevin Hooker. He's not to have any contact,
You
direct or
plan on
indirect,
that, nor did I.
with Sandra Hooker or Kevin Hooker. Mr. Hooker, this is not your time to speak.
I understand and I apologize, Your Honor.
It's all right. Just keep it under control. He's not to enter the following premises within 50 feet of Sandra Hooker or Kevin Hooker's residence or place of employment. He is to contact Community Corrections at the number on the bond form immediately upon any release, and prior to his release.
Walmart, because I called Walmart. I did. You guys gave me the phone number for Walmart. I called Walmart.
He is to have a CMH evaluation prior to any release.
I hope so. I would like to talk to someone with a goddamn brain cell.
And follow all recommendations. Deputy, it's also my request that he have an immediate CMH evaluation. I believe it would be appropriate for him to have that.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'll make
I'm
that.
okay. I'm trying to relax. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt myself. I know, but I'm acting all hoopty doopty, and I apologize.
Mr. Hooker, thank you for your apology, but I need you to calm down and just listen to me. We're almost done with this.
I am trying to work on it. I cannot do it like that. And if I do, I will go stone-faced and you still fucking mock me. So I apologize for my language and my mannerism.
Just keep it calm. That's all we're trying to do.
I can bang my head against the wall, but I'm not. I know.
All right. That'll be the order of the court. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor. Stand up.
Good luck to you, Mr. Hooker.
Right to the back wall.
I know. It's all being butt.
Turn around, face me. Right here, please.
Okay.